Hey, good evening, guys. This is Apostle Ely. I have let me put my glasses on. All right, Kimberly, you the first one tonight. Welcome to our Bible study. Looks like my Gemini and my Capricorn. Here comes my Cancer. All right, now somebody make me feel better. Yes, we are in the house. I'm actually not at the church tonight. I had some situations. So I'm here home. All right, come on in, y'all. Listen, as you come in, make sure that you're 18 years old and my Gemini. All right. Make sure that you're 18 years of age and make sure you guys are posting your zodiac sign. We're going to talk about manifesting your accountability. And I'm going to teach you some stuff and I'm going to share some personal information with you tonight in hopes that you understand how serious spirituality is. I know that a lot of people want to do spirituality and they want to be a part of a lot of spiritual practices, but there is a great amount of responsibility that comes along with it. Thank you so very much. Posting, come on in, y'all. As they come in, we're gonna get ready to discuss this. And once again, let me say this: I don't care how many times you see the word manifest. Many of you all really do not understand that a lot of people live their life believing God or believing spirit for something and they never see it come to pass. They never see it come to fruition. I am a type of person that if you understand my slogan of my church, it says the manifested strength of the Lion of the tribe of Judah. That is my slogan. In that means that this strength is manifest. It's not something I'm waiting on. It's not something I'm praying for. It's something that I walk in. It is the manifested strength. And I want to share some stuff with you all because I think that a lot of people have been taught some stuff that has actually put them in a place of danger, a place of things are happening and they don't understand. Taurus is in the house. Thank you so much. Remember, guys, make sure that you're 18 years or older so I can get on. Okay, you guys are coming in. Listen, that we all done heard knowledge is power. It's the truth. Knowledge is power. But wisdom, I'm going to burn some of this High John the Conqueror. I'm in a mood right now. Okay, as you guys come in, make sure you're, I got my Taurus, I got my Gemini, I got my Capricorn. Do I got any Leos and Aquarius? Taurus, I see you. Thank you so much, Sister Jackie. She got me my green eggs, y'all. And funny thing is, my name is Sam, so Sam I Am eats green eggs and ham. I literally got green eggs to do my workings. Okay, all right. We in here. We ready to rumble? Is that Jess or Jamaica? Okay, now we're going to be talking about manifesting your accountability. And the reason why accountability is important is that a lot of people do not take there's spiritual law. It's like for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. And on this week, last week, and up to date, I have been interceding for a lot of different people. I have been interfering with death. I have been there's sickness, healing, just a lot of stuff been going on. And the reason why I want to tell you guys about this, because we're going to be coming from 2 Timothy 2:6, is that there's a law that when you ask for something, that you have to make a sacrifice that is equal to the energy that you're asking to manifest. Thank you for sharing my live. And I don't think that many people that are operating in their spirituality and they're requesting things, they think they can just take from the universe. They just think they can take from the spirit world. They think they can just ask for these things and not put a deposit back. But when it's like most cultures and most traditional teach you, if you go to the earth and take a plant, then you add something back to it. a lot of you all don't realize, like, when somebody is praying for you and rebuking death and removing death or removing sickness from your body, that is cast, because energy is never destroyed. You're muted. Thank you so much, God. So I'm gonna stay focused. They told me don't pay attention. Y'all got me. All right. So a lot of people do not realize, like, when you go to the water, you have to give an offering back to the water. Whatever source of energy you go to, I don't care if it's a church, I don't care if it's water, I don't care if it's a cemetery, I don't care if it's the forest, I don't care if it's the crossroad. Wherever you're going and you're making a withdrawal for a petition, you have to give something back in order to balance out that energy. And a lot of times I watch people that really don't realize why certain offerings are important in order to balance energy. It's a science to this. You can't just go and take energy. If somebody takes a life, something, in other words, I'm going to tell you what happened. That whole week that I was out and about with Brother Mario and Monique and her husband and Sister Kiki, this stuff was going on. I was constantly petitioning for healing, protection, and deliverance. I was repelling death. But I had made some initial sacrifices for some of the saints. But for what was being asked, I didn't make enough sacrifices for all the different type of people that I was doing this intercession for. And on my way to church that Sunday, I end up running into a pothole. Now, I ran into the pothole. It was right at the red light. It's like the road was damaged, and I'm like, where did this come from? But when I hit the pothole, it hit the pothole so hard, I got out my car to see if it had actually tore the front of my car. Now, those that don't know, I drive a BMW 5 Series. So I'm like, well, what happened? So I look at my tire, it looks like it's fine. Long story short, my tire has gone flat on my car, my right hand side tire, right? So I'm agitated. So I'm like, because my tires cost $600 a piece, but you don't know. So one thing started happening, and I couldn't find my keys. I started having loss. So on the day I'm praying, and the Spirit speaks to me and says, in order for balance to come, because you kept other people from having losses, so you have to have an even exchange of energy. So you have to take certain losses. But I didn't have to take a lot of deep loss because I was aggravated about them $600. I got to buy a new tire. But I was aggravated. But when he started explaining to me why I was having certain losses around me, because I did not give an appropriate amount of sacrifice for all the things that I was asking for all these different people. This is why when you hear me say about making sacrifices and giving offerings to the ancestors, or giving offerings to God, or giving offerings to, if you go to the water, you have to be able to give an equal reaction or energy for what you're asking for. Some of y'all talking about y'all want millions of dollars, but you're not sowing seeds. Thank you, Brother Mario, for the candle. You're not sowing seeds that equal out for what you're asking. It says for every reaction, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So when you're praying and you're requesting things, now guess what? Sometimes that energy has to come out of your body. Now, I'm not sick, but I'm having to sacrifice my voice for the request that I made. So when I actually balance this energy out, everything will go back to normal. Why? The reason why I'm bringing that up, because some of you out here want to practice your spirituality, and you're out here petitioning the Spirit for all these different people. That energy got to come from somewhere. If it ain't, it got to come from your house. It'll come from your children. It'll come from your finances, because it has to be balanced out. Mother Nature is going to balance out. The universe is going to balance it out. So what I mean by that, if you keep setting certain people free, somebody got to go to jail. It's called the law of polarity. I don't care what church you in. I don't care what denomination you in. I don't care what tradition you in. I don't care what you practice. If you are out here utilizing energy, whether it's energy from yourself and you're asking, making requests, there must be a balance to that energy in order for things to be stable in your life or stable in the life of those that you petition on behalf. Now, 2 Timothy 2 verse 6, it says, the husbandman that labor must be first partaker of the fruit. In other words, in order to manifest, you must be first partaker of the works that you do. A lot of people think that by them, in their mind, they're saying, oh, I'm praying to God. No, you're making a contract. You're taking an oath. You are aligning yourself in an agreement for a healing, a deliverance, for protection. That energy that's protecting you from hurt, harm, and danger got to come from somewhere, sir. Ma'am, that energy got to come somewhere to protect your children. That energy that you're asking, whether air, fire, earth, or water, or ancestors, or spirit guides, or deity, don't matter. That energy has to be balanced out. So when you're praying, a lot of you all think that you're able to keep track. If you pay attention and just look back over to some things I'm talking about, think about when you were praying for somebody in a particular area. You start going through in that same area. Because in order for that person to get better, that sickness got to go somewhere. Energy is never destroyed. This is science. Energy is never destroyed. If you want protection, that energy got to come from somewhere. It has to charge, and you have to give back or sacrifice equal to the energy that you're asking to do the particular work. That's why in some tradition you see them putting out oranges and watermelons and cantaloupe, and sometimes they do animal sacrifices depending on the religion. They're trying to equate the energy from what? I even seen people actually, they want success and they will offer a person's soul or a person's energy or life force to a spirit in order to get that. It goes on. I want you to understand how serious this is. I want you to understand it's not just going around saying, pray for me. It's not you going around just praying for people. I need you to know that you have to take responsibility for the energy that you are working with and the energy that you're asking to do. Now, when I say energy, whether that be an angel, Gabriel, Michael, whether it be an Orisha, it doesn't matter. Their energy, their frequency, their vibration. And you need to take responsibility and align yourself to what you're asking, because it has to go somewhere. Remember the term they would tell you, oh, it's going to get worse before it get better. In other words, what they're really saying, that energy got to come from somewhere. So some things got to go wrong in your life in order for things to go right in your life. If you don't know how to sacrifice or give offerings, a lot of times you go through a lot of hardship in order to get certain manifestation. But if you understand how to sacrifice, learn how to give back, then it balances the energy out. A lot of you all do not know how to take responsibility for what you're asking for. The victories that you get, that energy has to come from somewhere. In order for you to be victorious, that means somebody else has to lose. In order for you to go up, somebody got to go down. We live in a law of polarity. Doesn't matter your religion. I helped spare a lot of people's lives. So I have been taking losses. I couldn't find let me tell y'all something. I'm not that type of person that I lose stuff like that. But stuff have been going on left and right. But I have not taken a major loss because I did sacrifice. I'm actually going to do some sacrifices tonight when I get off alive. I'm trying to educate you as an individual. Don't just be out here praying. Don't just be out here asking for certain things. Because if you don't give an offering back for the energy that you are requesting or asking to protect you or heal you or deliver you, whatever it is, because people ask all kinds of stuff. Asking for husbands, asking for wives, asking for children. There must be a sacrifice. Abraham wanted a son, and God required a sacrifice. There's always a sacrifice for the things that you're asking for. For somebody to be set free from jail, somebody had to go free. Somebody had to go to jail. If a guilty person is set free, that means an innocent person got to go to jail. See, a lot of times when we're praying, thank you, Brother Mario, for the roses. When we're praying and we just looking at, oh, that's my loved one, that's my mama, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my child. If they are guilty and you're requesting for their deliverance, or you're requesting for things to go their direction, even though they're in the wrong, it got to balance out some kind of way. Somebody, that energy got to go somewhere, and it's going to go through your bloodline, because now there must be a balance. The reason why it took when I originally started praying for my family, let me see, I was 18. It didn't get completed until I was in my 40s. It took almost 25 years for the fulfillment of that prophecy. And okay, Brother Mario, I see you. Thank you so much. In order for me to see what kind of energy and sacrifice that needed to be made because of the things that they had done, it took a lot of sacrifice. Some of you are out here asking God to do some heavy lifting for you, but you trying to sow some very light seeds. I just want to be honest with you. I don't care what your denomination is. I don't care who is talking to you. If you want to break certain curses, hexes, it depends on what type of energy was placed in that curse or that hex against you. And if you cannot give an equal or greater amount of energy, it's never going to break. That's why you see people making certain sacrifice, putting things on their altar, offering it to the spirit, because the spirit takes the energy of that object, whether it's an orange, whether it's an apple, whether it's a watermelon, cantaloupe. Okay. Whatever it is, that's what they're doing, and they're exchanging that energy for the energy of their request. Okay? That making sense? All right. Philippians 2:12. It said, wherefore, my brethren, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, listen to this, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Now this is important. Aries is in the house. This is important, y'all. Here is Paul talking to the Philippians. A lot of you all do not obey when the pastor is not present. You know the song say, when the cat going away, the mice play. Here's Paul saying, in my presence you did right and obeyed, and when I wasn't present, you what? Obeyed. Now that ain't the story of a lot of people. And what I want to tell you, the energy that you bring into a thing is why you'll think that energy come back. A lot of you don't know, some of you are up under the pretense that the spirit can be deceived. Some of you are up under the pretense that the spirit doesn't know that you only gave $2 when you were supposed to get 10. The spirit, you're up under the impression that the spirit doesn't know that you want that thing that you're asking for the wrong reason. I don't know where you got the teaching from, but I know for a fact that the spirit beholds all things. Some of you, only time that you do right is when whoever you fear, honor, respect, hate on, some of you only do right is when certain people show up. You're not going to be blessed like somebody that's going to do right in season and out of season. Some of you all don't realize the spirit will check. Exactly. But even though the spirit check people, I still see that people really believe that you can deceive the spirits of God, the spirits of the Orishas. If they're divine spirits, they see you. But a lot of people only think that as long as the pastor in the church, as long as the priestess in the church, or the priestess, or as long as the Babala, whoever they think they honor, as long as they're doing right in their presence, that the Spirit doesn't know that they're not doing right when that person is gone. They told you to dip 7 times in the River Jordan. You only dip 6. And now you go around telling everybody, oh, it didn't work. When you dip 6 instead of taking accountability that you were not what? Obedient. You do what you want, how you do. And sir, ma'am, that is fine. I'm just telling you that you are going to be held accountable for the energy that you bring and the energy that you're requesting. And I'm just letting you know, well, if nobody has ever told you this, that you cannot fool God. You cannot deceive spirit. You cannot deceive orishas. You cannot make them think that you want this for one thing when they know you want it for another. You cannot deceive them with your tears. Some people feel like if I cry and act a fool, the spirit goes, no. He knows what's in your heart. So before you practice your spirituality, you need to take accountability. You need to take accountability for the energy of your Capricorn energy, Sagittarian energy, Leo energy, Scorpio energy, whatever your zodiac sign. We all bring energy. But we must understand that people are going to know because Gehazi left Elijah to go to Naaman to get that treasure and that money from him. When he got back, he thought that the prophet did not know what he had done. I am telling you all, I have been in this thing long enough that I'm never going to tell you what all that I see. I will sit back and watch you tell me a lie. I will sit back and hear your conversation, and I will not tell you I know exactly what you have said, and I will still treat you good. But I want you to know that you will take accountability. And it's just not me. You cannot deceive. Even when Ananias and Sapphira tried to deceive Peter, who do you think you're dealing with? It's not just the people on TikTok or YouTube. I don't care where you are. When you come into the presence of a true man of God or a true woman of God or a true spiritualist, and they're walking in their power and they're walking in, those spirits are going to tell them or show them or reveal to them in some fashion what is going on. And if you walk in wisdom like I do, you don't always tell people what you know. I have this thing that I tell people, I give a dog enough rope to hang themselves. When I already know that you're going to be accountable for the things that you've done and the things you have not done. There's a sin of omission. When you omit to do the things that you know is right. Here goes somebody come to you hungry. And it's in your power to what? Feed them. But you won't do it. You're going to talk about you praying for them. You're going to be held accountable for that. Because let me tell y'all something why accountability is important. When the Spirit tells me to do something, He's already told the other person that I'm going to do this for you. And I'm a part of the fulfillment of the prophecy. I'm a part of the fulfillment of the prediction. I am a part of the word coming to pass. We all play a part in when God gives instruction. And He deems us vessels, part of His body. And He uses us to fulfill whatever it is that He requests or He done spoke. When you disobey God, you make God look like a liar, and you're going to be held accountable. Is anybody hearing me out here? When you don't obey the Orisha, the Inkisi, when you don't obey the angel, let me tell you something. When John the Baptist's father, Zechariah, was in the temple burning incense, they don't believe God like that. Oh, they will be held accountable even. So here Zechariah done burnt the incense. He's honored. So Gabriel appears to Zechariah and tells Zechariah, you're going to have a son and you're going to call his name John. But I don't want you to tell nobody what's his name. In that instant, Gabriel causes John the Baptist's father, Zechariah, tongue to cleave to his mouth. So he could not speak of anything that he was spoken to in there. Think about who you think you're dealing with. A lot of times, everybody want to talk about Michael. Ain't none of them archangels nothing to play with. A lot of times, we only want to talk about the people of God or the spiritual people that we know or we are accustomed. But there are sheep that are not of our fold. There are people out there, high and low. There are people in high places and there are people in low places, but they belong to God. And you're going to be held accountable, just like they're going to be held accountable if they don't obey him. I hope we clear. So what I want you to know, sir and ma'am, whether that person is present or not, you need to obey. Remember as kids, when mama leave, we do what we want to do. We do God the same way. We do spirit the same way. When we were like, oh, God present. Like we act like God presence is only in the church. No, Gemini, God presence is everywhere. And he got a guard over his word. No, Sagittarius. No, Cancer. No. Manifesting your accountability is so very important. And I'm going to show you. Matthew 16:24. Then said Jesus unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. There's no way that you're going to manifest a spiritual practice if you're not willing to deny yourself, if you're not willing to follow, if you're not willing to obey. You're never going to be great in that practice, no matter what it is, if you don't have the type of mindset to understand it's not about you. A lot of people use this word, God used me. Then how you going to tell him how to use you? I want to be used by the Spirit. Then how are you going to tell the Spirit how to use you? Think about what you are saying out your mouth, and you're going to be held accountable because a lot of you all have committed to things and you decided to change. It is better to not make a vow than to make a vow and break it. But if you break that vow, you're going to be held accountable. This is not like the credit union that in 7 years, it's going to go off your credit. Because what I want you to understand is that if you don't obey God or obey Spirit, you might have God might have told you to call such and such, and they were about to commit suicide. But you know what you say? Well, I call them in the morning. But in the morning, they are already dead. That blood is required on your hand. The Spirit might have spoke to you and said, I need you to do this. And you say, well, I'll do it later. This is the part that most people don't want to hear. They want to feel like they can lie or break promises and they're not accountable. Or, you know what, I ain't no longer over there with them no more. I'm no longer a part of that no more. Your word is still out there though. You know what you done said. You know what you agreed to. You know what you done said. You came in agreement. The Spirit, remember? Some of y'all act like God got amnesia. He told Daniel, I heard you the first time you prayed. How many out here, the reason why you don't see certain manifestations in your life, because you won't manifest accountability. And you think you're smart enough to deceive these powerful deities and powerful spirits like they cannot see through you, and that they don't remember last time you said you were going to do something, you didn't do it. They know last time they made a way for you and you did not give homage. You did not give honor. They know last time you did not sacrifice. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking to grown people. If you really think that you're going to be around certain type of people and you're going to just be able to say things or think because they're not present that the Spirit does not know, sweetheart, huh? Really? It don't matter where you go. You can leave this country, you still gonna be held accountable. You can change your name, you still gonna be held accountable. This ain't like your creditor that you can answer the phone. Can I speak to Sam Ely? Sammy is not here right now. Can I take a message? You can't do God like that. You can't disguise your voice and make God think he used somebody else. You can't tell the spirit that you think it's somebody else. The reason why some of you all have in your mind getting away with stuff, because a lot of you all been playing with people that are not on high levels. But you will be held accountable, because at the end of the day, you still gave your word. It don't matter how powerful they are. You still gave your word. You still told them you're going to do what you're going to do. You still broke an oath. Think about that, y'all. 1 Samuel 15 and 14. No, I'm going to do 13. And then I'm going to go to 14. Listen to this. I'm going to give you some wisdom. Take it how you want to take it. It says, and Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. Here's King Saul telling the prophet, the man of God, that he did exactly what God had commanded. That's what he said. Now remember, King Saul already was the one that was anointed by Samuel. So it ain't like he don't know that he's God's man. But he still had the courage to lie. Here we go. 14. And Samuel said, What meaneth then this bleating of sheep in my ears, and the lowing of oxen which I hear? Samuel said, well, if you done did what God commanded you, then why do I hear in my ear sheep and oxen? Because God told you to kill not only the Amalekites, he also told you to kill everything. That's including the animals and the children. That's what God said. He said, kill everything. I don't want nothing. I want to utterly destroy them. Y'all hear me real good? This is the God that many of y'all say y'all serving. He didn't even want the animals living. He wanted everything utterly destroyed. Now, King Saul was responsible for fulfilling that task. But he lied. And I'm going to show you where he lied. In verse 21. It said, this is what he telling Samuel. But the people took the spoil and the sheep and the oxen and the chief of things which should have been utterly destroyed to sacrifice unto the Lord, thy God in Gilgal. Here is King Saul. Reason I want to talk about King Saul, because this me and anybody else in authority. When God tells you to do something, sir, when God tells you to do something, ma'am, he means to do it exactly the way he said it. Now I'm explaining to you why this is important. Because when King Saul did not fulfill what God told him to do, now he makes God look like a liar in the face of God's enemies. This is why you're supposed to understand, as you go from faith to faith and glory to glory, why it is important to obey God. That's why it says obedience is better than sacrifice. Whether you understand why God is saying, or Spirit is saying what he is saying or not, you need to follow instruction, because you are a part of the prophecy. You are a part of the fulfillment of the word. You are a part of somebody getting acknowledged what God has already spoken. We play a part in the fulfillment. Mary had to obey God and receive the infilling of the Holy Ghost and bring forth Christ Jesus. John had to obey God and become the forerunner for Jesus. I don't know why everybody else got to obey God, has to obey Spirit, but you the only one that does not have to be accountable for what the Spirit told you, and then you think you're not going to be held accountable. Sir or ma'am, are you crazy? So God gonna let you, or Spirit gonna let you make them look like a liar, so you can be true. But the scripture says, let every man be a liar, let God be true. So when you don't obey God and you disobey, you put the word in jeopardy. He said heaven and earth to pass away before every word tilt the ground. God has a standard. That's why some of you will never get into certain places in God, because you're not trustworthy. If you can't obey over a few things, why would God make you a ruler over many things? Think about that, y'all. We as parents, why would we trust our children with certain responsibility when they messing up over small stuff? You can't even go to the refrigerator and get me something to drink like I asked you. You can't even go in the room and bring me the remote control. You got to give me kickback. We live our life showing God every day whether he can trust us. Are you that person, sir? Are you that person, ma'am, that you're manifesting your accountability? I told you all before. I done help people I don't like. It's not about my feelings. Some of you all are going to disobey God because of how you feel. Some of you all going to disobey God because of what you see. You're supposed to be walking by faith and not by sight, but because you can't see your way, you don't obey. Some of y'all ain't going to obey God because you can't take your family. And the Bible said you can't follow me except you first deny yourself. You got to give up mama. You got to give up houses, land. You have to give up everything for Christ's sake. And you ain't willing to do that. So we already know that you're going to disobey somewhere down the line because you ain't 100. You cannot get into your spirituality and not be fully committed. This ain't like your relationship that you faithful sometimes and then you unfaithful sometimes. You 100 sometimes, and then you 40 sometimes. You're going to manifest your accountability, whether that return is high or low. I'm not sitting here telling you anything but the truth. If you think that God is not aware of you not being obedient, if he got David for killing Uriah and he was king, if he got King Saul for disobeying him, all you like to walk in these high offices and you're a chief apostle and you are a master prophet and you's a Babala of Babalas and you a Santero, you a Queen Buddha, it's fine. But when accountability comes, much is given, much is required. Take it as a game if you want to. Don't you worry about, because a lot of y'all out here worried about people in high places. God got the one in the high places and the low places. When they say sovereign, it means sovereign. He ain't shocked by nobody. If you really want to stay humble and not mess up so much, then you need to take personal accountability. You need to retract. Like, you know what? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't do it. I'm be first partaker. I'm sorry. I first want to apologize. I had you wrong. I apologize. Sorry for that. Bumping you. I apologize. See, people that really walk in authority understand that they still got a God up there, a higher self looking up there what you're doing. They know what you're supposed to be doing. And they know why you're supposed to be doing it. That's why I tell people, if you pray and ask God for a job, it ain't about the people on the job. It's about you taking responsibility and being accountable for what you ask God for. If you ask God for that child, why would God allow you not to be held accountable for not taking care of the child when you ask for it? Some of y'all think y'all can just go and ask the Spirit for things and then treat it in a kind of way. You're going to be held accountable. Sir, I'm sorry. This ain't about the people on your job. You asked for that. This ain't about a relationship. You asked for that marriage. You went to God. You made all kind of sacrifices and promise to get that man. Now, because he ain't doing what you want, you think it's okay to dog him. But you ask for God to send him back to you. You think you ain't going to be held accountable? But while you right here talking about God going to get him, God going to get you too. Because you asked me for that. I'm trying to give you something different. But you begged and you cried. You got on the altar. You made all kind of sacrifices. And I honored your sacrifice. Now he is. Here she is. What you gonna do? I'm giving you a heads up. Stop just asking for stuff and not realizing that for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. Energy out, energy in. Everything is energy. You must take accountability for what you're doing. You trying to blame God and the devil, but you asked for that. And then you ain't like Job. You ain't making the proper sacrifices. Or you sacrificing what you want. That's like somebody going into a store and saying, instead of looking at the price, what they're asking for, you say, I'm going to give you $5 for it. I'm going to give you $10. I was getting my haircut, I think that was 2 weeks ago. And this Haitian lady was getting her haircut before me. And so when she got her hair finished, she got her seat and she gave my barber $10. And he said, no, ma'am, the cut is $17. So she was like, $17? Me only pay 10. He said, ma'am, $17. Some of y'all just like that woman. Y'all want to put y'all own price on the prize of what you asking for. And that ain't how this goes. If you want what you want and you seeking for the high prize and calling in Christ Jesus, then you're going to have to make the appropriate sacrifices. You give sparingly, you reap sparingly. You give abundantly, you reap abundantly. Sir, I ain't out here to tell you what to do. I'm just giving you hardcore fact. Ma'am, if you want to continuously sowing sparingly, that's what you're going to reap. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you white, black. I don't care if you Chinese. I don't care who you think you is. These spiritual laws affect everybody. You must have an opposite and equal sacrifice depending on what you're asking for. That's just real talk. Oh, Pastor Eli, I want to be wealthy. Where that energy gonna come from? Oh, you want me to give you my energy so you can live off of me and live wealthy and then give me crumbs? Even if you feel like giving me anything. Really? Did you know how much energy I had to give out in order for that to manifest? I meant all hearts. Let me tell y'all something. What type of sacrifice is you putting on the altar? And are you taking responsibility for that sacrifice? When God asked Abraham for that sacrifice and he told him he would fit to kill his own son on that altar, and the angels told him to stay his hand, you think you're going to request of these deities and these spirits all this great stuff and it ain't going to be no sacrifice? Who taught you that? Who lied to you? Who deceived you? Who hoodwinked you? I'm telling you, as a man of God, you can take this however you want to. If you're not giving the appropriate sacrifice, you're never going to get it. And if you get something that you asked for and you didn't get the appropriate sacrifice, that energy is going to come from somewhere. Whether it's come from your health, whether it comes from your finances, whether it comes from your children. Energy has to be balanced. This is why you need to understand your spiritual practices, so you will know how to balance certain energies. You can't be around here just asking for all these things. So what you going to do with the energy? That's when you get in trouble. That's when you run to somebody like me. Oh, this going on and the enemy doing it. No, baby, your energy out of balance because you done asked for something and you did not give the appropriate sacrifice to that spirit. Some of y'all think y'all so smart. Y'all want to leave voodoo because you didn't do the appropriate sacrifice. You want to leave Santeria because you didn't do the appropriate sacrifice. You thought you were going to get from the spirit and get what you want and walk off. That one day fault, that's sure, because you don't want to take accountability. And then some of y'all spiritually won't tell these people the truth. You want that from the spirit, what the spirit want for you. You want power from the spirit. I told God, if you give me the power, I'll serve you. Now that my family doing what they want to do and how they want to do it and treat me like a child, I can't stop serving God. Because I made that covenant with him. Some of y'all think because who you fell out with or what you asked for gone astray or broken, that no longer now you don't have to keep your word no more. Who told you that? You didn't say, God, I'm going to serve you long as they do right. You didn't say, God, I'm going to serve you as long as he stay married to me. You just said, God, if you bring him back, I'll serve you. I'll do right, Lord, if you get me out this trouble. All these are vows. All these are commitments. And you think you ain't going to be held accountable? I don't care who prayed for you. Until you balance that energy, things ain't going to never get right. Thank you, Brother Mario. Thank you, sweetheart, for the hearts. In life, in any form of spirituality, make sure that you're holding yourself accountable and willing to put in the energy that you're asking for, and that you're not out here praying and hoping something happens. It don't work like that. I'm just showing you how I have been dealing with certain losses because the energy is trying to balance. Thank you so much for the fire. Stop letting people lie to you. I'm not telling you not to ask for anything. Think about President Biden. Look what had to happen. He been wanting to be president of these United States for years. Look at the amount of sacrifice and losses he had to take, but he ended up getting it. Look what the energy had to go out. He had to lose his son. He had to lose his wife. Because some of y'all think you're going to get something. That energy got to come from somewhere. You ended up with it. But at what cost? Because some of you do not understand how to give offerings to spirit. Job sacrificed daily for himself and for his children. Some of y'all ain't doing that. You might pray once a week. You might pray every day, but you don't pray no but 3 minutes. But you got a laundry list of things you want the Spirit to do. Where that energy gonna come from? Where is that energy gonna come from, sir? Where is it gonna come from, man? You done did that hex, that spell, that curse on them. Where that energy gonna come from? I done seen people get killed trying to kill somebody else. Because they don't understand that energy got to come from somewhere. You trying to hurt somebody else and you end up hurting yourself. And I'm not just talking about witchcraft. I'm not just talking about voodoo. I'm talking about even in the church. People praying all kind of destructive prayers on people. And you don't understand there's an energy exchange. Because guess what? Death is an energy. You're taking away their life energy, trying to replace it with death energy. That energy got to go somewhere. This real talk. I hope some of you understand, not only when it comes to your health, your finances, things that are going on in your life. Stop being ignorant and take accountability so you will understand why certain things go wrong after you get what you want. Because they come, what I used to use the word, somebody got to pay the troll. When you get what you want, did you reciprocate back? Thank you for the fire. Nerves far. Thank you so much. When you make those sacrifices, that's why, let me talk to all you spiritual people that like to take people money and don't do the work. You're going to be held accountable for that. And the reason why a lot of y'all don't really understand it, because you don't know how God going to get or make somebody accountable. Always give back. Exactly. That's how I strive to keep my life balanced. You cannot be out here taking people money and not giving service. Because that energy, I remember I was really young, and so I asked my spirit. I was out in the cemetery, and I watched this man. He worked there digging graves, and people place money on graves, and he was out there, and I was listening to him talk, and he was calling the people stupid for putting money out on the grave, and he said he go out on the graves, and he would take the money off of the graves, right? So I asked my spiritual dad, I said, well, what happens when he takes that money off? He said, whatever reason that person put that offering down on that grave for that person, he said, now that responsibility is placed on that man. When y'all walk out there, y'all see money on the ground, especially in crossroads. I wouldn't pick up that money. You don't know who done prayed over that money and tossed that money in that crossroad. And if you get that money, you take responsibility for whatever that petition is. Did they tell you that? There's a connection of energy to money, people, places, and things. And you assume responsibility and you are held accountable. So I've seen people do all kind of crazy stuff because they say they don't believe in stuff. It don't matter if you don't believe. You're going to be held accountable. He was laughing about it. But later on, I saw the evidence of it. I want to say this, and I hope you get what I'm saying. If you can take accountability for what's coming out of your mouth, then I believe you as an individual will stop going around talking about what you don't believe, because you don't have to believe to be affected by spiritual laws. You don't have to practice spirituality to be affected by spiritual laws. Mother Earth will balance herself. What we trying to do is we trying to keep her from really putting what's happening on us for what we done to the earth. When you do work for people and you alter their state to make things better, you don't affect somebody else's life. That's why we give the sacrifice. Because guess what? If something happens to that person, because they lose their house, they lose their car, their children go hungry because you end up with a position because of the work that I did. What about that energy? I know, because most of us are so selfish, we're not accountable, so we don't think about how we're affecting other people's lives. Y'all seen the movie Craft? And Nancy wanted to stop being white trash, and she was doing them rituals every day, and that man ended up dying in order for her and her mom to get that money to move out of the trailer. There must be a sacrifice. A change ain't gonna come without energy, and that energy got to come from somewhere. I don't care who it is. I don't care what they're telling you. I'm being honest with you all. You need to take accountability. I don't know who taught you about spirituality, but if they're not teaching you accountability, they don't have your best interest at heart. If they're telling you that you can do anything and you can hurt anybody or you can bless anybody, because guess what? I don't care if you're blessing people. You can bless the wrong person, because if you're trying to bless somebody that God has cursed, you still in trouble. If you're trying to curse somebody God has blessed, you still in trouble. You're going to be held accountable, because a lot of you all don't like to ask questions. Lord, what would you have me to do? Spirit, guide me. Higher self, guide me. No, you just jump up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Oh, I got this. I have a lot of ingredients right here. But I have to ask them, what you want me to use? Use this? Do I need to use a candle? Do I need to go to the water? Do I need to go to the cemetery? What do I need to do? You don't just get out here and do what you want because you think you got power, because you think you got a talent, or because you see vision. You're going to be held accountable. That's why I constantly teach the people under me about accountability. Watching what they say, watching what they do. Some people have y'all up under the pretense that y'all can do whatever y'all want to do, and you are not going to be held accountable. Let me tell you something about the God that we serve. Sometimes you are so reckless, he will send you to somebody that is just as reckless as you is, and they'll put something on your ass. He been warning you a long time to stop your foolery. And then you end up married into a family, and the auntie crazy as hell, and she gets you straight. Oh, you gonna be held accountable. The God we serve is so sneaky, and he is he's ingenious. How he make us accountable. Oh, he know how to get the butter from the duck. If he got to wait till you get on your deathbed and tell death to behave, we got to get some accountability. Oh, you gonna tell the story. We all, if anybody truly spiritual, you better understand something. You will be held accountable for your yays and your nays. All them lies you like to tell, you get what you want, because that's lying is an energy. You're going to be held accountable for that energy. That's why I don't do stuff any kind of way. Because I don't want to be here. I'm not going to go out here and lie and do all this other stuff. No, why y'all? Not because let me tell y'all something. I done seen too many people that's gifted, that's talented, that do a lot of stuff, and they do stuff any kind of way. And after a while, that house go to tearing down. Because of the energy they built that house with. How they got that man. How they got that woman. How they got that job. They backstab everybody to get to the top. Now they got more trouble than a little bit. Jacob deceived his brother and his father. Look all the trouble he went through because of the energy. It gonna find you gonna be held accountable. David had Uriah killed. God took David's son that he had with Bathsheba, the first son. He took him. You gonna be held accountable. I don't care how powerful you think you are. If you out here doing stuff that you ain't supposed to be doing because you think you can, I don't know who taught you. A lot of us we're not holding ourselves accountable, so we can't really represent the traditions that we say we serve and we work in. But I strive every single day. But I want to get on here to be honest with you all and let you all know the amount of sacrifices that I have to go through. Like, people don't tell you when you're healing people, my body got to go through, because that energy, a lot of times, I give them my energy to balance their energy. And so I have to contend and conquer their sickness with my own body. I'm going to say that again. I have to give up some of my life force in order for you to live. So guess what? Maybe God may have intended for me to live to 90, and now I'm only going to live to 80. I don't know. Because if I don't give the appropriate sacrifice, the energy got to come from somewhere. Running out here, making sacrifices is important. Giving that spirit the necessary energy for what you ask. You don't know what it takes for somebody like me to turn your life around. And I don't want you to think your little couple of dollars is worth it to me. You better understand, sir. You better understand, ma'am, what you're dealing with in the energy, and you need to take responsibility and correct your behavior. This is why I get on my saints. Stop doing that. Because you create more problems for yourself, and it's going to get harder and harder. Don't know who you serve up under. Don't know what you practice. I don't particularly care. I'm telling you today, because you can't say you ain't heard it. Manifest your accountability before you be held in account. Because the spirit is going to bring balance. Mother Earth, she don't need us to bring balance. She'll do it on her own. She's more than capable of balancing her energy. Some of you all are upon the assumption that just because I'm not in front of you, that I don't see you. Please don't play with me. I'm not going to say nothing to you because you're grown. And you're going to get a grown person's ass whooping because you know better. Look at me real good. And some of you out here say you spiritual. You better read Apostle Ely real good. Get your cards out. Get your bones out. Get your girlfriend and y'all go into a trance. So if you say you clairvoyant, you better damn sure be clairvoyant. Because you keep coming to me with the foolishness, you're going to get smashed. And I ain't talking about sex either. Manifest your accountability before you be held in account. And stop going around thinking that you can just be asking for stuff. Thank you, Brother Mario, for the roses and the flowers. Oh, you showing out tonight. Let me tell y'all something. This coming Sunday, I have my saints to give out certain sacrifices. Because we're getting ready to bound, because God done been good to us. God has, in my ministry, my subscribers, I've gotten so many calls back about what God is doing and the victory is given. We gonna give God the sacrifice of praise. Or we gonna get down for the Lord. Because we need to give him that praise and that energy, so we can balance us out. Because he done gave us great victory. And we are thankful. Some of y'all won't even get a sack of the fruit of your own lips. You won't even say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you. Thank you. Like, give the sacrifice of praise. With no hinder, with no delay, with no animosity. God, I realize if it had not been for you on my side, I know where I would be. I would lose my voice giving you praise. The scripture says, if I had 10,000 tongues, I'll praise him with everyone. But some of you, God will do something awesome in your life, and you'll come and sit up in God's house like he owe your ass something. It pisses me off when I see people do that. No regard, because you didn't have to be, he didn't have to do it. But you act like it ain't no big deal. Everything you done, you should have landed in prison. Everything you done, you should have been landed in the cemetery. Everything you done, your children should be, but God, his grace and his mercy. And you can't give him the sacrifice of praise, will be held accountable. I'm going to praise God, not only in front of people, but when I'm all by myself. Because I know what God done. I know what he done for the members, my family. I thank God, even though I don't be around them. I thank God because I know what the Lord has done. Even how my mom, God have healed my mom and moved for my mother. And she ain't around me. But guess what? I'm going to still serve God. And I'm still give praise for God. Because I know my mom could be in a wheelchair. I know my mom. I know what could be happening. I know what the doctor said was going to happen. But it did not happen. And for that, if the sacrifice is that she cannot be around me because he healed her and he going to move for her, then so be it. Because guess what? The energy got to come from. You can't have it all, y'all. David, if you want Bathsheba, you got to lose your first son. You're going to be held accountable because you're asking for things and you ain't giving enough back for what you asking for. That's right. Praise all day long. Some of y'all, God done been so good to y'all. I'm talking to you that in spite of you, who you are and what you have done, he has been gracious and merciful. And you should be giving God. I wouldn't care if it's in a grocery store. When I think of the goodness of the Lord and all that he's done for me, sometimes my hand just go up because God done been so good. I can tell y'all stories about my niece, not only my children, my nieces, my nephews, how he has healed. How can I not give him praise? I have to give him the equate for how good he has been to me. I owe him. I owe him the sacrifice of praise. And you think that you're not going to be held accountable when you serve and you know what the enemy had devised against you and they did not prosper and you ain't going to give him no praise? That's all let me tell y'all something. When y'all see me doing certain things and I be sharing stuff, do not think that you're going to be able to do these type of works and not sacrifice your energy. And you're going to have to give equal energy for whatever you're asking for. And let me tell y'all something. Everybody's not blessed like me. Gratitude, exactly. Everybody's not blessed because a lot of people don't play with me, to be honest with you. My saints, my subscribers are very good to me. I'm not saying this because of how people are treating me. I'm saying this, I don't care who it is. I don't care if your husband good to you, you need to give gratitude. I don't care if it's your wife. I don't care if it's your mama. I don't care if it's your neighbor. I don't care if it's the drunk on the street corner. If they good for you and they say good morning to you every morning, when you drive by, you give God some praise. Because they ain't got to say nothing. Y'all need to manifest personal accountability before you be held in account. This is knocking on the door of some trails I'm going through right now. Let me tell you something. The quickest way to get victory in your situation is to acknowledge why you in your situation. Not just asking, God, what is it that you want me to learn? What did I not get in my last trial? What did I? Now God got you somewhere. Because let me tell y'all something. Some of y'all going through because he's trying to make you go to the next level, and you are being stubborn. You own this live as a Gemini, as a Scorpio, as a Libra, as a Cancer. And I'm here to teach you about your energy. But you got to take accountability. I can't do that for you. And depending on what kind of energy you trying to manifest or what you're trying to bring to pass is what the sacrifice is calling for. Who is this? Nurse. God, show me. You're going through, nurse, is centered around relationship and family. Do you hear me? You're going through is centered around a relationship and some family members. I'm right here. Did you hear me, nurse? You say you're going through, I'm telling you, what you're going through cannot be no more greater of going through advancement in your life around family and relationship. I'm telling you. School. No, listen to me. You're going through is centered around your purpose in relationship and family. My job is not why I'm going through. There's always a higher purpose. Does anybody hear what I'm saying in here? It is never about where you at. It's about what they want, where God is trying to take you. You got me? Okay. When you are going, when you have a purpose on your life, whether you identify with that purpose or not, we talk about the higher self. I'm talking about your destiny and purpose. That's when all this other stuff start going awry because we don't know what we're supposed to be doing, and we think it's just about going to a job. We just thinking about running a business. No, we make it about that. But when your spirit is being awakened and your soul is crying and is ready to obey God, then stuff starts shifting in your life. And a lot of times we say things are happening in the wrong way when it's really God trying to get our attention. Y'all hear me? When we take accountability, it's alignment, exactly. Let me tell y'all something. God can take, if God can use an ant to teach us something, he will use school, he'll use a job, he'll use a relationship, he'll use family, he'll use your body. When we say speak, Lord, he can speak in many ways. He can use the wind, he can use the storm, he can use anything. But it's all about trying to get your attention. You have an opportunity tonight to take accountability for your own spirituality, because you're not down here for school. You're down here to do a purpose. And if you're on my live, this is your opportunity of why he's called you here on this live, because this is about transformation. That's all I'm about. I am about Scorpio energy. I'm a Sagittarian, but I transform people from caterpillars to butterflies. This man is so wise that he can take you no matter where you at, and you still get what he intends for you to get. He still teach you exactly. It don't matter where you at. But the Bible said it like this: he that have an ear, let him hear. You a Sag too? Then why you ain't tell me that earlier? Come on here. That's why you on this live. Let me tell y'all something. If you won't listen one way, he'll make you listen another way. All I'm trying to tell you to do, if it was me, I'd take a personal accountability so he don't have to come in. When the children of Israel didn't want to hear Moses, they said they want to hear God. Until God starts stepping down, come and talk. Sometimes, sweetheart, you don't want to hear from God. You need to hear from that angel. You don't want to hear from God. You need to hear from the ancestors. You don't want to hear from God. You need to hear from the Spirit. Because if you mess around and hear from God, and with the mindset that a lot of us have, we're going to be in trouble. It's always best to hear from a lower spirit. It's better to hear from the pastor, the prophet, the apostle. Because when God go to talking, he's not coming to ask questions, y'all. You started fasting yesterday. Please fast with a purpose. Y'all please don't be out here just fasting. Because you're opening yourself up. Remember, y'all, we spirit first, we possess a soul, and we have a body. Don't just be out here doing these things, because what you do is open yourselves up to spiritual energies out here. And sometimes you unloose certain things in your life that's going on in your spirit or your energy that you might not even be aware of. So I'm just giving you some wisdom. I don't tell people what not to do. I'm just giving you some wisdom. Okay. Okay, Sag. All right, make sure you're doing detail, because we ain't very good at being detailed. I had to be raised by Virgo to give me some detail, because we very optimistic. We believe we can do anything but fail. Okay, now, thank you guys so much. If you all, thank you, you're welcome, baby. If you all have not subscribed, if you all have not, ain't that the truth? Ain't we something else? If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please. Thank you, Brother Mario. Brother Mario had truly, my saints have truly a reason to praise God. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube page, please subscribe to my YouTube page. I almost say UPS page. Okay? Thank you guys so much. Let me see. Brother Mario is giving me some more presents. Let me make sure ain't no questions that I missed. Thank you, Sister Jackie. I'm seeing confetti. God bless those that bless me. Support those that support me. And help those that help me. What's the name? Brother Mario, could you put my name to my YouTube channel in there for me? I think I'm already following you, though. Am I already following you? Yeah, I'm already friends with you. He's going to put my... Sister Monique, can you hear me? Absolutely. There it is. Brother Mario is right there. Apostle Samuel Jr. on my YouTube. Thank you so much. All right, listen, guys. I really appreciate your support. I really want you to understand my intention is to help you with information. But at the end of the day, you are responsible for you. I know that we live in a culture that everybody is to blame and we the victim of every people, place, and thing. That is not true. We have innate power and abilities, whether Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra. We just need to know what our power is. We need to know our purpose and walk in that and be obedient. Let me tell y'all something. Success when it comes to longevity is rooted and grounded in obedience. Not to me. To whatever God is saying in your life. Whatever spirit is saying into your life. If somebody tell me God sent them my way, I listen. If somebody come to me and say God told them to leave, I listen. I know I don't own people. We live in a society that we try to control people, make people do what we want. I don't do that. My life, I'm here to work out my own soul salvation with fear and trembling. I advise you to do the same and manifest and create the life you want. But I'm telling y'all, let's be accountable, okay? God bless you. It's Apostle Ely, and I'm out.